Everyone, Andrew from Origin. In my role at Origin, I get the fortunate job of being able to look at new technologies, new business models, and trying to harness those to deliver better things for our customers. And so thinking about the topic of today's session, how can we use data to deliver on the principles in the Energy Charter? I thought it might be interesting to talk about some of the things we think about in our innovation pipeline more broadly, and then talk specifically about a trial we're just about to kick off with a startup from the UK in partnership to use energy data to look at health monitoring for elderly people to help them stay in their own homes. So if I start with some of the ways we kind of come up with new opportunities for maybe doing things a bit differently within our business. We're one of the foundation partners of a program called Free Electrons, which is a global accelerator program set up by 10 utility partners from different geographies around the world. And it's the third year it's running this year. Applications are sought from startups who've got businesses relevant to the energy sector. And each year we get about 500 applications that come in, and of those applications, the utility partners go away and look for the most promising 15 startups that then participate in a intensive program across 3 modules over the course of a year. And the idea of that is to look for opportunities to innovate with those startups, either through investing with them to help them grow their businesses, help them improve and refine their products through being able to trial things with customers, or even just the utilities becoming customers of those new businesses. So if, again, thinking about how data can help with the Energy Charter principles, I wanted to show you the breakdown of last year's applications. So they come in a number of different categories right across the energy supply chain. They can be as far up the chain as using drones and artificial intelligence to look at wind turbines or transmission lines and work out when maintenance might be required in a predictive way, so reduce the cost of delivering energy. They can be things at the customer site level around energy management, so helping a customer use technology, for example, through Internet of Things devices to better manage their own energy on site. Or it can be things at the customer solution end, and I want to talk about one of those particularly today. That's a company we met through last year's Free Electrons program. That's House. They're a UK startup who use energy data to monitor events and activities within an elderly person's home. They use artificial intelligence and machine learning to work out a baseline of that person's normal routine. And then once they've done that, the machine learning looks for departures from that routine, so anomalies, things that are unusual for that person, and then presents those back to the elderly person, and I want to pick up on that a little bit more later. It's to the elderly person themselves to give them insights and information about what their routine looks like and how things might be different for them at the moment. And so the idea of that is to help them get an insight themselves that they're on track and they're healthy. And then the final step is there's a social component to it where the elderly person, very much at their election, can share that data with a friend or a relative, so that person can also help keep track of them and help see that they're okay. So that's what House does. I should also talk a little bit about what House doesn't do. So it's not intended to be an emergency response device to say, I've had a fall and I need someone to come and help me. There are devices that do that, so that's definitely a solution that's on the market. When the founder of House, who's a physio with more than 15 years experience in the NHS working with elderly people, she came upon this idea when they were really looking for what's a way we can help people stay in their own homes, help keep track of their health and well-being in a non-intrusive and low-cost way. And so they looked at a number of things, and she said, we had a crazy idea early on that maybe if we put a camera in someone's home, that might help them. And they quickly realised, on talking to a very small number of customers, that's an awful idea, and did not resonate with customers at all. And they came across the idea of energy data and using smart home kit, smart plugs, maybe a motion sensor in the hallway, as a source of data to build up that routine. So that's kind of the idea of the product and where it's coming from. So we're just about to kick off a trial with House here in Australia with a small number of customers, and what we're particularly hoping to learn in partnership with them is whether we can get the service to work just using smart meter data. So if you think about wanting to make the service as minimally intrusive and as low cost as possible to help as many people as you can, if you could get it to work with smart meter data, that's great, right? Because you've already got that sensor there, and we'll see if we can get the algorithms to effectively work with that. So that's the kind of first customer-facing phase of our trial. Then, having done that, we plan to see whether you get better fidelity, a better outcome, augmenting the smart meter data with the smart home kit. So more granularity, perhaps add some motion sensors or that sort of thing to help give a richer picture. And then finally for us, there are some things we're hoping to learn out of that as well. How do customers in Australia, how do our customers respond to that type of service? It's been tried in the UK to a degree. Does it work for Australian customers is one question. The second thing that's of interest to us obviously is, from a customer's perspective, has Origin got a business being in there? Are we the right partner for this sort of thing, or are we better as an enabler for someone else to be able to provide a service like this in the background? It's a question we don't know the answer to. We're hoping to find out. So I think I'll probably leave it there and give people opportunity for questions. Thank you.